interview. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for doing it, man.
Yeah, no problem. I guess first and foremost, I noticed that the missus and the kid wasn't along with the tour. Are they back home?
Yeah.
Is it tough being away from them?
Yeah, it's really hard. But at the same time, this is like my job, you know.
Right.
The solo stuff kind of isn't, but going on tour and kind of being away is what.
And they just sort of
just
said
kind of
that.
the job description, yeah. She knew before we got married that I was a musician, so she knew what she was getting herself into. But I don't think either of us are really that into them coming along on tour. I don't think they would have a really good time. Maybe in a couple of years or something.
Mhm.
And my wife has talked about before we had the kid coming along here and there, but I don't know if we'll do it for a little while.
Right, yeah, you got time.
Yeah.
And then speaking of back home, I've read that you've moved around a lot. Like you lived in Baltimore, Philadelphia for a little bit, outside of Philadelphia.
Outside Philadelphia.
New York, and now Lisbon. Do you think you're going to be settling down there, or do you think you're
I
going
don't
to
know. It's really hard to say, but I'm pretty happy in Lisbon. I really like it there. But my wife recently has been talking about moving to New York.
Oh, really?
And all my friends want that, and my mom definitely wants that. So I feel a lot of pressure to move back. I don't know if I would. I know if I do, I'll miss Lisbon a lot. The coffee there is really good.
I heard you talking about it, like I've read interviews where you said the vibe to everything is a lot more slowed down and sort of relaxed, which is a big change from New York, I guess.
Yeah, it's like an opposite, excuse me, in a way. Which is sort of, I really like it. I mean, it's kind of like vacation time when I'm there, because all the other time I'm on the road or recording with the guys or something. So when I'm home, it's kind of nice that I'm in this place that's really like slow moving and where I don't really know anybody. Kind of seems like it would suck, but since I'm not there all that often, it's kind of nice.
Right.
And the coffee's really good.
Just talking a little bit about this tour. Not to sound ungrateful, but what was the idea behind a 3-city tour? So like a very short tour.
It's mostly because I'm away so much with Animal Collective and working on that stuff that even if I was just doing that, I would still feel kind of bad about how much I'm gone. So adding more time away just kind of makes me feel bad. But at the same time, like I worked really hard on the record, so I didn't want to just not support it at all. So I did like 1 or 2 shows, and I did one in London and one in Manchester, and 1 or 2 shows in Portugal, and now I'll do these on the East Coast, and that'll probably be it.
Yeah.
I feel bad about not going all over the place, but
Right. Just can't do it.
I have other priorities.
Mhm.
I guess.
And just talking a little bit about your performance, I've read in past interviews that you are, I don't know, not the best socially. Like in one time, you talked about working at Other Music, and they put you on the sales floor, and then you really didn't know what to do.
Yeah, and then they sent me right back upstairs.
Right. What's it like performing? Does the nervousness carry on stage, or do you just forget about it?
For these shows, I definitely feel nervous, like nervous energy, but there isn't too much fear involved in it. It's more just like anxiety.
Right.
I thought I'd be a lot more nervous for these shows, but the most recent Animal Collective tour, where we were doing all these songs that we had spent like 2 weeks working on, that was the most nervous I've ever been.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just because it was like really technical, all this stuff, or maybe just because it was new songs, but I was so nervous every night to play. So this is kind of like, because I know this set really well, and I don't mean to say that I'm just like have it on cruise control or anything, but it's kind of a lot less stressful than the stuff I was doing a month ago.
Right. It definitely doesn't carry on the stage. I mean, you can't tell, like at least from Baltimore. That's what I've seen.
And plus, whenever, even at the shows I was talking about getting so stressful, even like once the music starts, I kind of just forget about it.
Right, exactly.
So it's only those first 2 minutes when I'm on stage, just kind of fussing around. That's like the most stressful time.
And now you work with person pitch. You work strictly with pre-recorded samples and vocals and stuff like that. So your live show is based around twisting buttons and twisting knobs and touching buttons.
Yeah.
Is it different than playing guitar or drums, or is it the same sort of feel? Is one harder than the other?
I wouldn't say one is harder. There's things you can do in each that you can't really do so much in the other. But one thing for me is that it's much harder to hide mistakes, I feel like, doing the samplers and the sample buttons. It's like if I hit the sample at the wrong time, it's really like obvious and it sounds really bad. Whereas if I was playing guitar, you can kind of like mask it a little more. So it's a little more stressful.
Would you say either is more fun?
Nah, I like them both, but for different reasons.
That's cool. I want to talk a little bit about one of my favorite Panda Bear songs, Comfy and Nautica. Were you ever worried about, the subject matter is so sort of sincere and I wouldn't say touchy, but were you ever worried you might turn off some fans with the I don't know, one time you called it the sweetness and maybe it was too sweet. Were you ever nervous that like maybe people would think this is like a load of crap?
No. I guess I sort of expected it, but I wasn't nervous about it.
Right.
But I don't think it's just with that song or just with my music. With anybody's music, I feel you make like a judgment call about the sincerity of it. For me, there's like this immediate thing of like, do I trust this or not? And it's sort of an instinctual thing that I just feel. It's the same with people when you meet somebody. Do you get like a good vibe from that person, or are you like, this guy doesn't seem very nice?
Right.
It's kind of instant, I think, if you're paying attention to stuff. I don't think that I'm special in that respect.
And also you said that part of Comfy and Nautica and where the title comes from is about clothing, and you said that you like clothes.
Yeah.
I was wondering if you had like a favorite band shirt or something.
Favorite band shirt?
Yeah.
I like Black Ice's t-shirts a lot. They always make really good ones. And my friend Brendan, who goes by Bar,
Right.
A-A-R-R.
Yeah.
He always makes really sweet shirts.
Yeah, it's like what you
and
do
I
and
love
stuff.
that Acceptor shirt too. I have one of those.
Thank you. I dug your Daft Punk shirt last night in Baltimore, so we're
What's
even.
that?
I dug your Daft Punk shirt in
Oh,
Baltimore,
thanks.
so we're even.
Yeah, we were at a festival playing with those guys.
Oh, really?
And
Animal Collective.
yeah. And I saw that shirt. And I was like, I have to.
Some bands try very hard to sort of establish a persona or look for them. And whenever I sort of hear a Panda Bear song or read the interview, I always get this feeling of positivity. And I was wondering if that's sort of a conscious effort that you make, or does it just come naturally to sort of put yourself out that way?
It's a little bit of both. I don't think I'm ever really putting on a front.
Right.
If I'm in a bad mood, it'll be sort of obvious. I won't act like I'm in a good mood if I'm not. But I mean, outside of music too, I try to be as positive as I can about stuff. Even though bad things happen sometimes, and you have bad days, and you make mistakes. I still feel like it's good, and it's important to try to make the best of everything that's happening.
Definitely.
And I guess I try to do that with music too.
And then just lastly, you sort of touched on it on the beginning. I was wondering sort of what the future for Panda Bear was. I mean, you have a wife and a kid. I was wondering if you had more plans for touring and making more albums.
At this point, I feel just totally burnt out on myself.
Right.
And so my plan now is just to focus on the band and with those guys. And maybe sooner or later something will happen.
Yeah.
I'll feel psyched about doing something on my own, but for now, I'm just like, the moment that it really 2 or 3 weeks ago. And I was already kind of thinking this way, but this was the thing that really put the nail in the coffin. We just finished the tour. We played a show in New York, and woke up the next morning and got on a plane, and I flew all night long back to Portugal and got off the plane and went to a sound check to do like a solo show. And I was like, what am I doing? Why did I do this? Why did I make this decision to do this show like this? I think I kind of cracked, and I can't. That's when I stopped doing this for a while. That's when I concentrate on one.
Right. Yeah, I'm sure it must be hard. And I mean,
that's all I got.
Yeah, you have a family too, so.
Yeah. Exactly.
I don't think people expect much. I mean, not to say like it's bad, but people are definitely happy with your career as Panda Bear, I guess.
I hope so.
Yeah, I don't think they would pressure you to continue. But